And welcome back to some more Complete Idiot's Guide to Stationeers with me, 54 Bear, the Complete Idiot. Alright, completely drained this tank. Now I want to hook up the blue tank up there to the Stirling generators to both cool down that blue cooling gas and give me a little bit of power. So having drained this tank, I don't want to put anything in these tanks just yet. So I will seal them off, and I'm basically going to want to run this blue pipe into this purple pipe. Actually, it probably makes things a little confusing having that pipe purple. So we'll make it a different color just to make certain it works right. So don't want to run it through the turbo volume pump, so need to run it through this valve. I don't want it to go into that tank, so we'll close that off. Don't have to worry about those. So it will go through this way, down here, and through here, into the purple pipe. We'll close that off so it doesn't backfill into that tank. And yeah, so it goes into the purple pipe, which I've rejigged just a little bit, so it should be okay. So right now we have nothing in it. Open that up. Open that up. And now we have some nice toasty hot gas. Not super hot, but hot enough. So nothing in those tanks, but turn them on and we're getting almost, well, it'll be about 1500 watts. That's just out of two. I still have these other two disconnected. I have a feeling that if I do connect them, I will need to seriously beef up the cooling system, because when you're processing very hot gas, this room heats up way too fast. But anyway, that's that taken care of. Next thing is going to be to put in a solid fuel generator. Now I'm going to have some fuel out there. I haven't actually got to mix it yet. That'll be one of the next things we do. Also wanted to check on the progress of our rotting food. Oh, some of it is turned to mush. Good. As far as I know, I can just leave it in there. So, yes, we will. Although I will weld up these bits just so I've got something to walk on. Yeah, so how long has that got to go? Well, this is already decay completely in 44 minutes, and that just tells me damage is at 54. I wonder if that's because they were stacked up with different rates. Don't know. On the, let's see, using the little wall hack. I'll say decay completely in 6 minutes. Alright, I don't even have the composter built yet, so I don't have anything that I can put them through. I mean, I do have one made, it's just not assembled or put in its own little box yet. Okay, now we should be ready to get this puppy fired up. Once I get these panels welded, so yeah, I might have enough juice in that battery just to do a couple of frames. Okay, I do need to wire those up. Obviously there's no logic control or anything in here yet. I will get a battery. Even though it doesn't actually need it, it's a good idea to have them. Should probably print up a couple more actually. Because I have one for the airlock. And one for in here. So is that turned on? Yes it is. Right, I'll turn it off for the moment. Oh yeah, this one needs, I do need to print up an airlock circuit board. And I will want to put up a couple of consoles in here that are going to show, or not consoles, but LEDs that are going to show percentages of oxygen and CO2. Just so I can monitor things, and obviously these grow lights will have to get put on a timer. I do have a daylight sensor up here, which I'll read. I'll use exactly the same logic as I do in the little survival hut on that one there, and that will turn those on or off. Still got no idea whether having these radiators embedded in the frames is actually going to work or not. I suspect their cooling effectiveness is reduced by half, I would imagine, as they're embedded in a fully welded frame. Right.
Power low.
Oh, great, power low. 50%, that's okay. Right, that I don't need open. So yeah, that seems to work. Another way of testing everything is wired up. If you have the Network Painter mod, you know, just paint one wire and make certain everything changes color. It does. Well, we'll keep it green. It's the greenhouse after all. All right, put that one down there. Okay, so we'll turn that puppy off. I don't have the code loaded yet. That I will do off camera, because there's I guess it's a glitch on my system. When I access the library, it takes about 5 minutes to populate the list, which is weird. I don't think it's because I have a slow internet connection. My internet connection is pretty damn fast, to be honest. Fiber into the house, so it should be running fairly quickly. But what we can do is start pre-mixing the fuel. Let's have a look, compare the temperatures. They should be fairly close. 0.72, 0.54, that's close enough. Now, I was wondering whether I should put a heat exchanger on there to equalize the temperatures first, but I don't actually think it's necessary. Right, mixer is all we should need. Now we're going to want, let's think about this. Well, I could tap in off the top line there, so yeah, I suppose there will do. Okay, open up my pipes. Right, so that one is input, that's input 2. So if we have input 2 for, well, it makes sense to do that for the oxygen. So in fact, with a labeler, you can set it exactly. I don't know how much of an impact it has. So at the moment it's set for, let's do 66.66666666. There. So that should be absolutely perfect. Doesn't really make a huge difference, to be honest. All right. And where we connect to. What will look the funkiest? Having it connect off of this one, I think. Oop, that was right. Oh, no, that won't work. And we have to go over one. Where am I going to want to branch off? Oh, like that, I think. Right, so let's see how our filtration thing is done, because I don't really want to get any nitrogen in there. Now, still got a bit to go. Let's check this. How's it doing? 4 moles. Let's see if I bump up that pressure. Still 4. How's that? That's increasing the pressure. I don't like that. Yeah. Alright, so we're not going to get much more throughput than that. It's going to take a while, so we're not quite ready to make the fuel yet. But that's not to say that we can't get the gas fuel generator in there. And I'm fairly certain I built it. There we go. Oh, let's keep hold of that. Can't remember all the build states of this, but I'm fairly certain it's going to need electronic parts or something that I don't have. Don't often use these. Right, so obviously I'm going to want to have the power connected to the yellow cable. And we have an input and an output at the bottom, so probably makes sense to have it like this. Maybe out there, so I can keep the piping internal rather than running it up the walls. Or maybe like this. But then I do have to get the data across. Don't have an easy way of getting the red cable across the ceiling unless I bring it up from round there. Although actually it's already on the floor, so I can just bypass it that way. And maybe we'll do it like that. Oh, no build states. Cool. Right, so there's my output. Now my output, I will just plumb straight into this manifold. That way it will let me determine whether I want it to go in one or the other of the tanks first. If I don't, then I can open the manifold in one of these valves and it will go directly into the Stirlings. Now, the one thing I'm not certain is whether I'm going to need to have any kind of volume pump or anything on it. So let's see, what would be a sensible way of routing that across? Probably along the ceiling. Right, so this is the output, or the exhaust. Okay, now the real fun and games is going to be getting the fuel from there to in here. Taking it out through that back wall, I don't like that. So what I think we will do is we will bring it in through the ceiling because that looks funky. As a general rule, I subscribe to the view that form follows function, which means you get it working first and then work on making it look nice. But when it comes to pipe work, I kind of like things to be a little bit weird. And I think it's time for a color change. So we'll make all this not brown. Where's that? Off color. That one there. Yeah. Alright, and this we'll probably keep as orange because that is our fuel thing. Alright, let's get it wired in. Oh yeah. Wish the paint can was considered a tool. It would make life a little bit easier. Alright, we'll just run this back up to here. Alright, and the heavy cable, which I don't have any on me. I think I have some out there. Right. One of my tools is in the wrong place. That one. Yeah, 19 will probably be enough. Actually, I could just run it along to that one there, just in case I want to put any logics or anything on the floor. And of course we will paint it. Lovely jubbly. Alright, so we have the gas fuel generator in, It's not monitored here or anything. At some point it probably will be. Just realised the Stirlings are turned on there. Already generating. That's cooled down quite a bit. So that's 148, 148, 137. Yeah, so that's the only problem with having valves, is it does, because it has a bunch of what the game thinks of as separate pipe networks. It's not that it's actually flowing through, it's just the game has to do the calculations as to how this section of pipe is affecting this section of pipe because this thing is open. So it does, I guess you could say, it is sort of simulating flow. Like if you wanted to slow gas down, you can have just a length of pipe and put every other section of pipe, you just take it out and put a one-way valve in, and yes, you do get something that you could consider to be gas flow, but yeah, wouldn't say it was actually worth doing. Right, so that's closed and that's closed, so if we do put anything in here at the moment, it would backfeed into the coolant pipe, which is what we would not want. So maybe one thing to do would be to put a valve here so that I could actually separate the two halves of the manifold. Or put it directly into just one of the tanks, which probably makes more sense. So we'll do the other way around. Yeah. Okay. Go check on our rotting food again. I would imagine most of it has already turned to goop. Oh. Still not. Interesting.
Power critical.
All right. Let's see. Well, it's still registering as hot and pollutants. I mean, the rotting food hasn't given off any other gases to dilute it, which is, I guess, good. Let's just split one. Oh, it just says damage. Interesting. Some of them will say will completely decay, and some say just what the damage rate is. Interesting. Alright, so this only stacks to 25. Well, we got a fair bit already, and that will, because it's decayed food, that gives you the, well, let's have a look. Fertilizer. Right, so food increases the yield. Decayed food is the growth speed. Okay, so, and biomass increases the number of cycles. And reading this bit seems to indicate that if you put in a blend of stuff, you can actually get a mixture of all three. So if you put in equal parts food, decayed food, and biomass, then you would get half of each thing. So you would get instead of it being 2 times or 200%, you'd get 150% of this, 150% of this, and it would last a bit longer, or give you some extra growth cycles. But I mean, this has to work as an integer, because you either get 3 growth cycles or 4 or 5. You know, 4.5 growth cycles doesn't actually help you. So, yeah. Don't quite know. As I said, I've never really got this far into farming before, so I am learning too. Alrighty, where are we? Let's check the solid fuel. How are we doing? 140. Yeah, that's fine. We're generating 2 kilowatts. Of course, I don't get a temperature readout now, but you know, just the fact that it's generating power, temperature is staying within range. No problem. Let's drain a bit whilst I think about it. If I thought about it, I would have put this transformer up here so I could easily see these batteries. But to be honest, I should probably automate it. And of course, I can't turn this off because of my automatic base management system detects that I'm not in the base. So it turns it on, whether I want to or not. I've got lots of capacity there, so I don't have to worry too much. Okay, so let's check on our nitrogen extraction. Damn. No, still not having any impact. Right, so how's our cold temperature doing? Well, it's down to... Oh, great, ran out of juice. Oh, got a bit of CO2 in there. How did that get there? Because that was all pollutants and nitrogen. Oh, I know. Yeah, there was a bit left in the manifold, I think, after I was sucking everything out into the main CO2 tanks. Yeah, that's cooling down quite nicely. Alright, we'll just let that run for a bit. And it is time to get the greenhouse full. Should probably grab some seeds before I go in there, so we can plant some thingies. I'll replace that battery while I think about it. Yeah, definitely going to need some more batteries. Okay. I'm not going to do the switchgrass because I don't have that many seeds. Alright, that hasn't seeded yet. Alright, so, well, I got a load of mushrooms, but I need to build a special little hut for those so they stay in the dark. Potatoes, yeah, I can take some of those. Some soybeans, because I got lots of those. Pumpkins, got lots of those. Yeah, that'll do for now. 4 different types. How's the atmosphere in here doing? 24% CO2. Yeah, and I haven't brought any CO2 in here for ages, so just having these 4 mushrooms seems to be more than enough. Plus, you know, whatever comes out of my waste tank. Because on the suit hanger thing, the waste pipe just goes straight into the base ventilation system. So whatever's in the waste just gets automatically dumped into the base. Oh, do I need to put an airlock console in here first? Yes. Fairly certain I don't have an advanced one. Well, I do, but I used it in here. So yeah. Advanced airlock, iron, gold and copper. And I got my programming disk, got some glass. You should be good. Oh, I need for the advanced airlock, you need another active vent. Make one. Even though it's not useful. I mean, here, I just have one there. I think it... Actually, what happens? Let's find out. If I take that off of there, it still works. Cool. Okay, well, that's good to know. So we'll just connect that so that we have it. All right, labeling doodad. So active vent in, vent out, door in, door out. Now the only thing that's on, this is the only gas sensor that's on here, so that should be all that we need. All right. So active vent exterior. Glass door out, exterior, interior, active vent in, gas sensor. Okay. We are done. Oh, no, we're not. Whole purpose of having the advanced airlock is you can set the pressures. So 0 and open at 40. So I'll have to override pressure to go inside because it won't be able to pressurize the airlock. So, okay, we have a sealed room with nothing in it. We got power set up, so I want to bring in the oxygen, which is here. Although, to be honest, I did bring this in here for this reason. The whole thing. Take that out and we'll open this as well. Alright, so... Ooh, it's minus 40. Ouch. Alright, so we want to bring in some CO2. The CO2 is... And I'm not worried about my jackpack because it's pure nitrogen. So this is at 41 degrees. So we'll set that to 100. And we'll turn it on. Yeah, it's surprising how quickly it fills up this room. Right, I'm just going to get it to about 40 or 50. In fact, why don't I just set it to 50? And I don't have to worry about it. Now I don't have the water connected yet. 31 degrees is a little on the warm side, but the water pipes should start to cool that down as well because the water will be cooler. Yeah, 5 degrees. One potential also is to put water radiators, like the atmospheric versions, in between some of the trays or devices, and that will use the water as a good thermal heat sink. All right, so we're 31 degrees in here, mostly CO2. That's fine. This should be empty. It is time to say sayonara. Ta-da! Cannot disconstruct. Needs to be emptied. There we go. So there's probably a tiny bit of water vapor in the room now as well. Okay. Let us go with planting one of each and see how we go. Oh, I do need to get the grow light timer. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. One potato is thriving. A soybean, also thriving. I don't know if I want to do a pumpkin, because once a pumpkin's there, it's there. It just keeps on growing. Yeah, so let's just do a wheat.
Hunger caution.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I'm okay for a little bit. Right, so let's get mix thing going. Right, we'll clear that one. Put it on pause and hit library. And this is where we have to wait. Join me in the next bit. Okay, so we have named all of our devices. This is Harvey 14, and this is 14, 15, 16, and so on. So we've got MixScript loaded onto the IC chip. That's working fine. MixChip does not do anything with the grow lights. He has that on a separate chip. He has a much more automated approach. I'm just going to add a very simple grow light thing to the script. There's no point having a separate chip for it. I may get into that later, but for right now, I don't really want to mess with any of this, but I will need to put some stuff into the into this that's just going to deal with whether the grow light's on or not. All right, let's put my stuff down here. So define daylight. Yeah. Call it solar sense, and I need to know what the number of that is. Oh. Daylight sensor. This one here. And he doesn't have anything for grow lights in here, does he? No. So, define grow lights. Not kit grow light. Yeah, you always want to make certain that if you're using this method, you don't use the kits. You need the number of the actual assembled item. All right. Grow lights like that. Okay, so we do have the sensor up there, and it should be able to see it. So what we're going to need to do is load batch into R0. Solar sense, we want vertical and average. Then So we're going to need to know what value. I'm just going to use 95 degrees. I think that works the best. So if it's less than 95, it will return true. Then dispatch, grow lights on R0. Right. So every time mixing goes through, it will also go through and do the solar sunset. That should be okay. Yep. Right, so these ones will work. I could put seeds in here, but because I've told it one of the options in mix mix program is whether it uses the fertilizer. I've set it to yes. Actually, I could set it to no for the moment. And then we turn on a couple of these. Should be able to put seeds in here and it should automatically plant them. What do I want? Let's do wheat, I think. So give it nothing in there. 2 in there. There we go. Put a couple in there. Couple in there. Couple in there. So when it starts harvesting, it should be just spitting it out here. Maybe I should put an output chute so it doesn't try and launch it through the window. And what I was also thinking is I have this space back here. I think I can, if I offset by 1, so instead of having a Harvey in line with this, have it in line with this, then I can have it output into the same chute there. It just means I have to walk right up against the wall here. That will reclaim some of the space. Right, so this should work. I don't have the cooling system in here yet. A tiny bit of water vapor. That was from dismantling that. Water tank. Not really going to be a problem. So, although we are at 31 degrees, there is nothing in here that's going to cool things down, but there are things in here that will warm it up. So, should probably get busy with the cooling system as well. So, again, I can probably just add that. Use the same kind of cooling logic I have for the power hut over there, or power shed, and just piggyback it onto this one. I don't see the need to have multiple IC codes to control this. So yeah, I'll go make a note of exactly what changes I need to make and come back and make them. But yes, we do have a greenhouse. And it sort of works. Well, it plants. It should turn the lights on when they need. If I turn it on, the system turns it off. So that tells me it is under control. Okay, good stuff. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. It will follow sometime in the not too distant future. And we will be up to some more shenanigans here on Minmus. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. All that good stuff. 54 Bear out.